Hey everyone, welcome. We're going to talk about something that could actually put more money back in your pocket, Canadian benefits and credits. We're going to break down exactly how you can access the money that you're entitled to.
All right, let's just jump right in. When you hear the words tax season, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably something like, I owe money, or just this big, complicated chore we have to get through.
But what if we completely flip that script? What if filing your taxes was actually the single most important financial move you make all year? I mean it, because that tax return, it's the key. It's what unlocks a whole system of payments and credits that are literally designed to give you money back.
So, to really get how that works, we need to look at the system itself. And trust me, it's way more than just a bill you have to pay.
Think of it like a big cycle, right? All of us, we pay taxes throughout the year, and that money goes into this huge pot that funds Canada's social programs. Then, when you file your return, the Canada Revenue Agency, that's the CRA, they take that info and use it to figure out, okay, what programs is this person eligible for? And then they calculate your payments based on that.
So here's the absolute bottom line. Your tax return is your application. Seriously, filing it on time every single year is the most crucial step you can take. And listen to this. This is true even if you had zero income for the year. No return, no benefits. It really is that simple.
Okay, so now that we know why filing is so darn important, let's get to the good part, right? What are some of the major benefits that this key can actually unlock for you and your family?
First up, and this one's a big one for families, is the Canada Child Benefit. You'll hear it called the CCB. And what it is a tax-free payment designed specifically to help with all the costs that come with raising kids under 18.
So this payment shows up once a month, and believe me, it can be a huge help for those big-ticket essentials. Housing, food, daycare. Now, the key thing to remember here is that you do have to apply for this one. It's not automatic. It's just a one-time application you fill out when your child is born or when a child first comes to live with you. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world. So, take a family like Jules and Luca. They did exactly that. They applied for the CCB right after their child was born. And now, every month, they get a payment. And what's cool is that this payment often includes both the federal benefit and any related provincial benefits all rolled into one. And it's all calculated based on the tax return they file each year.
All right, next up, we have a benefit that pretty much everyone can be eligible for at some point, the GST/HST credit. You know how we all pay sales tax on things we buy? Well, this credit is basically designed to give some of that money back, especially for folks with low or modest incomes.
And check this out, this is the best part. Unlike the child benefit, you don't have to fill out a separate application for this. Nope. You are automatically considered for it just by filing your taxes. That's it. If you're eligible, you'll get a tax-free payment 4 times a year. So you'll see it in July, October, January, and April.
And this is such a perfect example of why filing your taxes early is a smart move. So, to start getting these payments right when you turn 19, you have to file a tax return for the year you turn 18. Why? Because that's what gives the CRA the info they need to get your payment started right on time. So don't wait.
Okay, moving on. For people who are out there working but are in a low-income bracket, there's a specific support called the Canada Workers Benefit, or CWB.
You can think of this one as a financial boost. It's there to help you make ends meet and cover costs that come with working, like transportation or even supplies. You just claim it right on your tax return. And what's really cool is that you might be able to get payments in advance throughout the year, so you'd get installments in July, October, and January, which is a huge help.
And finally, let's talk about the disability tax credit, also known as the DTC. This is a really crucial, non-refundable tax credit. It's designed to support people who have significant physical or mental impairments by reducing the amount of income tax they might have to pay.
But the DTC does so much more than just reduce your taxes. Look at Maxine's story here. Once she became eligible for the DTC, it opened up the door to a bunch of other really important federal and provincial programs, things like the Registered Disability Savings Plan, or RDSP, and the Child Disability Benefit. It's what we call a gateway credit for a reason.
Okay, so you've done the work, you've filed your taxes, and the benefits are starting to come in. That's awesome. But to make sure they keep coming without any hiccups, there are 3 simple but super important responsibilities you need to keep in mind.
And honestly, they're really straightforward. Number 1, file your taxes on time every single year. I know, it can feel like a lot, but remember, there are often free community tax clinics that can help you out. Number 2, keep your personal info up to date with the CRA. So if you move or your marital status changes or you have a baby, you gotta let them know.
And number 3, if the CRA sends you a letter, respond to it. Don't put it off. Now, following these rules isn't just a suggestion, it's absolutely critical. Because if you don't, it can have a direct and pretty immediate impact on your payments. Let's take a look at what can actually happen. So let's look at Dominique's story. It's a perfect example. She missed the April 30th tax deadline, just forgot. And what happened? Well, come July, her GST/HST credit payment just didn't show up. That's a real-world consequence right there. She eventually filed her taxes in August, but she had to wait all the way until September to get that money she was counting on.
And yeah, keeping your information up to date is just as big a deal. For example, if your marital status changes, the CRA uses your new combined family income to calculate your benefits. If that info is outdated, you could end up getting paid too little. Or, and this is the one you really want to avoid, you could get paid too much, and then you'll have to pay it all back. Nobody wants that.
Okay, and that brings us to that third responsibility. If you get a letter from the CRA, please don't panic and don't ignore it. It's usually not a sign that you're in trouble. Honestly, most of the time they just need to verify some simple information, like, hey, is this still your address, or are you still single? The most important thing you can do is just read it carefully and send them whatever they're asking for.
So, we've covered a lot, right? We've talked about what the tax system is really for, the different benefits you can get, and what you need to do to keep them. So that leaves us with one last really important question you need to ask yourself.
Because at the end of the day, the single biggest takeaway here is about changing how you think about taxes. Your tax return, it's not a bill. It's not just some annoying chore you have to do. It is your key. It is the tool you use to access all the financial support and programs that you are entitled to. So please, don't leave that money sitting on the table.